Welcome to the VCU men's basketball season preview alongside former VCU basketball player Rodney Ashby. I'm Greg Burton. We're inside the VCU men's basketball locker room, which is normally off limits, Rodney, but Coach Wade kind enough to let us in here to talk about the upcoming season, which we're all excited about. But before we look ahead, let's just take a quick look back. Year one under Will Wade, certainly he was a known commodity, but everyone was sort of curious about what mark he would make on this VCU program as a head coach. He certainly did.
Absolutely. I think year one, big success. He had 2 years of head coaching experience at UT Chattanooga, did very well down there, prepared them to continue to grow that program, but then came here to start to make his mark on there. Went 25-11 overall, 14-4 in the conference, good enough for a share of the A10 conference regular season championship. And then phenomenal job again for VCU's 4th year straight, making it to the A10 championship game in the tournament. Just phenomenal play. And then carried on that momentum into the NCAA tournament. And what a great time that was, going out there and facing Gary Payton Jr.'s Oregon State team, and took it to them 75-67, really played very well, and then basically lost against a home game against Oklahoma out there in Oklahoma with a team just, All-American Buddy Hield led them to a win, 85-81. But VCU showed great heart, did a great job, I think represented the program well. Overall, I would say big success in Coach Wade's first year.
Kind of a fun fact, that VCU-Oklahoma game in round 2, one of the most watched college basketball games of the year. A lot of folks were really introduced to VCU basketball, sort of the new era, post-Shaka Smart and Will Wade. And, with Coach Wade, there were some things that sort of we expected, but overall, he adapted as the season went on. It wasn't completely according to script year one under Coach Wade.
Yeah, I think he came out and he had this big playbook similar to like an NFL, and you can only put so much of it in when you have limited time. He didn't have summer to work with the guys, so he had to pare down his playbook a little bit. Didn't press as much as what you're going to see this year, so pared that back a little bit. But he stuck to his script. He said, we're going to go in often and early to Mo Alley Cox, and he did, and they worked from the inside out, and that helped Melvin Johnson and Bill Berry knock down some three-pointers. Overall, I think he did pare back his book. I think you'll see an expanded playbook, an expanded script this year.
And just another level of confidence for head coach Will Wade, his second year here at VCU, and really his 4th year overall as a head coach.
Yeah, and also now he's starting to work with his staff a little bit. Rasheem Davis was new. He had all new staff last year, so Rasheem Davis was new. He had worked with Coach Long a little bit in the previous staff, but still they had new roles, new teams, a lot of kinks to work out. You come in brand new building, brand new facility, so many things when you're operating a program at the A10 level.
No question about it. We're going to take a little bit of a look ahead at the upcoming season, but just off the top, what are you most excited about looking ahead to the 2016-2017 season?
Well, I'll tell you what, this is Coach Wade's first time that he's getting to put his own recruiting class in. So he did a phenomenal job bringing in some of those guys last year that he did late. Ahmed Hamdi, Samir Daughtry. Those guys were big gets for him. But I think this year he's got his own recruits coming in. They're a little bit more guard-centric. I think he's going to like that. You're going to see a little bit more pressing. The most exciting thing, I think you're going to see an increased pace. It's going to be up and down. I know we averaged 77 points a game last year, but Will wants to get the ball up and down the court. It's going to be exciting.
Let's take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll take a look and introduce you to some of the newcomers, and also, of course, look back at the returning guys that are going to be such a key component of this team. We'll continue with our season preview here in the VCU men's basketball locker room. Coming up next, quick timeout. Stick around.
Launching a surfboard company while still in school. Becoming a dentist to serve the underserved. Inventing a safer way to protect animals and the environment. Inspiring greatness on and off the court. Finding hope under a microscope. At Virginia Commonwealth University, making an impact is what we do, but we don't do it alone. Your support is critical as we work to shape the world around us. That's how you make it real.
Come watch the VCU Rams in the 2016-17 regular season opener against UNC Asheville this Friday, November 11th at 7 o'clock. It's the Virginia Lottery opening night at E.J. Wade Arena at the Stuart C. Siegel Center, and all fans receive a free Virginia Lottery t-shirt. Get your tickets today at VCUathletics.com or call 804-828-RAMS. Let's go VCU!
Welcome back to the VCU men's basketball season preview alongside Rodney Ashby. I'm Greg Burton. And Rodney, you mentioned sort of the recruiting class, and certainly Will Wade has brought in some super talented players. There's some newcomers on this team, and they're expecting them to make an impact.
They sure are. There's actually 5 newcomers to this team. You're only going to see 4 this year. The first one, we'll just go ahead and get out of the way. Isaac Vann. Ram fans have something really to look forward to him, but he's got to sit out per transfer rules this year. He's a transfer from Maine, averaged over 16 points a game as a freshman in the American East Conference. Really big-time player. They're going to be excited to see him starting next year. But then coming in, you're going to have Samir Daughtry. Samir was here last year as a partial qualifier. Didn't get a chance to play. Got to practice second semester with him. But this guy can absolutely put it up. On last year's team, Coach Wade told me over the summer that he actually probably would have been the 3rd leading scorer on that team. That's saying something as a freshman. He's out of Pennsylvania, so he's got a little shift to his game. He's an exciting player to watch. He can put up numbers very quick, so he gets hot. He goes in streaks. He gets hot real quick. You know, other teams that recruited him were Conference Pro LaSalle, but also Penn State, George Mason, Seton Hall. Originally signed with St. John's, though. Yeah. So that's the type of player that you're talking about, is a Big East caliber type player. Very talented scorer. Averaged 25 points a game in high school. Look out for him. He's really a big-time player.
Another guy that Coach Wade, the staff, and eventually Ram fans are going to be excited about is Malik Crowfield.
Yeah, and according to Coach Wade, he probably could be the freshman that gets the most minutes. He came in with a college basketball body already. Coach Wade jokes around a little bit. He's got the strongest forearm in college basketball. I don't know how much he'll be able to use it with the freedom of movement, but you know, he's really excited on him. He's a kid out of Riverside Academy out of New Orleans. 4 straight state championships. So he's a guy who knows how to win. Coach Wade and his staff always look a little bit into the things outside the court. You know, did they win outside the court? How did they handle themselves in loss and stuff like that? He didn't lose a lot. He's a kid that was also the state player of the year as a sophomore. So this kid can play. 3-star recruit. You know, he got offers from other schools like Baylor and Mississippi State, LSU. So that's the type of player that you're looking to see.
No question. Another newcomer, Marquell Frazier.
Yeah, Marquell Frazier. He's kind of more of the unknown. He was a guy that kind of came on through the AAU season. They found him in AAU. He won his team won the 17 and under big tournament out in Vegas. And, you know, you win a tournament out there and you're going to get on the radar really quick. But Rams were able to land him over schools like Georgia Tech and Memphis and Iowa. So another really good player, and he's going to get some time, but maybe not as much as the other guys. And
probably a name that Ram fans have heard a lot because of the recruiting process, and certainly one of the most highly touted players to ever be recruited and come to VCU. De'Riante Jenkins.
4-star recruit, ranked 36th nationally. What a big get for Coach Wade and his staff. And they work the recruiting trail really hard. Coach Wade picks kind of a couple players that he focuses in on 100%, and this was one of those guys that he was 100% focused on, and great job in landed him. He actually finished his career, he's from South Carolina, but finished his high school career up at Hargrove Military Academy. So that is a basketball factory. They said he probably was the number 2 recruit in the state of Virginia playing up there. Very, very good player, very talented, big things to come from him.
So you have this newcomers that are obviously walking into the program. Then you got this strong core of returning players, and you're trying to build chemistry. How much does an off-season trip to Spain help like the Rams have?
How about perfect timing for that trip? You have Coach Wade, who's in his first full year now of working with these guys, and you get a chance to practice 10 days and then go over and play 4 games in Spain. And they went 4-0, so they got the win. But the more important than that, they got to go out and build some team chemistry, learn a little bit about each other off the court, but also got some good workouts in. Those 10 full team practices in the summer, when you're talking about bringing in 5 newcomers, 4 that are going to play this year, trying to mix them in. You got guys like Melvin Johnson and Corey Bilberry who are leaving, so you've got to find replacements for them. What a great opportunity to go out to spend some time overseas and build that chemistry.
Although there are 2 undeniable leaders on this team, I think when you talk about the 2016-2017 VCU Rams, you have to start with Jaquan Lewis and Mo Alley-Cox.
Jaquan Lewis, he is going to be the leader on the court as far as getting the ball up and down. But without a question, this is Mo Alley-Cox's team. and he has taken it over. He's did a good job. He kind of sat in this passenger seat, sat shotgun with Melvin Johnson a little bit last year, and they held each other accountable and went at it a little bit. But this is Mo Alley-Cox's team. Jordan Burgess leads by example. Jaquan Lewis, though, is going to be the guy who controls the pace. But look out, Johnny Williams is going to play some point this year too as a starter, because there were 3 returning starters. Yep. Johnny Williams was the 3rd one because he was starting towards the end of the year. And so look at Jaquan and Johnny to play a little bit in that 1-2 and flip back and forth depending on matchups. And then, of course, a heavy dose of Mo Alley-Cox in the paint. But here's the thing. They're going to play some big ball this year depending on backup. There are lineups that I've heard that you could go Jordan Burgess at 2, Tillman at 3, Hamdi at 4, and Mo at 5.
Wow.
I mean, could you imagine coming in and facing that lineup?
It's something that we're not used to talking about at VCU, because so often over the years when we've done shows like this, the focus has been on the guard play. No question about it. But talk a little bit more. There is Mo Alley-Cox, but you have Justin Tillman, who is back, which excites all of Ram Nation. And then, of course, Ahmad Hamdi, who is getting a lot of attention from his play in Spain and just the work that he's put in the offseason.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to get to Hamdi. Let's talk about Tillman real quick, because I think that was a big re-recruit for Coach Wade. He had a chance, his buddy left the team, and he had a chance to probably go somewhere else, decided to stay here and stick it out, and I think it's a good choice for him. Coach Wade found a way to put him in successful situations last year. When you talk about Coach Wade was being adaptable last year, that's one of the things he did. He put Tillman in places where he could score. That baseline, he is unstoppable when he works that baseline. He can get on the boards like nobody else, too. Fitting that he's from Detroit. But Ahmed Hamdi, what a great summer this kid had. He did have a little bit of a sabbatical during the summer. He went home to Egypt for the first time in 7 years.
Wow.
Had not been home in 7 years since he came over. Goes home, and according to Coach Wade, he enjoyed his mom's cooking way too much. So he came back a little bit out of shape, but they put him down on a lean down program. He looks phenomenal. He has leaned out, put a few, redistributed where the pounds were, and he's looking really good. And he had a great season over in Spain with the 4-0 win. Got a lot of extra minutes. They held Mo back a little bit out in Spain. He got a lot of minutes, and he played really well. He's given Mo all he can handle in practice. I've seen it.
We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back and finish things up, we'll take a look ahead at the non-conference schedule for the Rams, which is certainly challenging, and, of course, where the Rams are predicted to finish in the Atlantic 10. It's all ahead on our season preview here for VCU men's basketball. Stay with us.
Game's a great dress rehearsal for our guys. It's one thing to do it in practice. We scrimmaged black and gold last week in practice in the development center against ourselves, but it's a different thing to do it with the lights on and Siegel Center in front of fans. So it's a tremendous dress rehearsal for us to do it in front of our fans, see how our guys react when the lights are on.
And everybody in the program, thank you all so much for coming out today. Who needs football, right?
Thought it was a good day's work for our guys. Thought our defense has gotten better. I was proud of our ball screen defense, so we did a good job. We shot the ball pretty well. We took good shots. It's a little challenging as a coach because when somebody scores, that means somebody gave up a basket, so you're worried about all of that. But I think the fans enjoyed getting to cheer for both teams and cheer for all our players. I think our team showed what we're capable of, a very balanced team. We've got a lot of guys who can score, a lot of guys who can make plays, and we've certainly improved defensively. We need to keep on that track as we continue to practice these next couple weeks. Overall, it was a good day. We've done a lot of good work, and I think it showed today. But we've got a lot of work ahead of us, and we'll get back to it on Monday and get better and make sure we put the best product on the floor we can when we open up November 11th.
Welcome back to the VCU men's basketball season preview. Atlantic 10 Men's Basketball Media Day was held in Pittsburgh this year, which will be hosting the Atlantic 10 Men's Basketball Championship. Here's a look at how things went down from the VCU perspective at A10 Men's Basketball Media Day.
Welcome back, everybody, to A10 Live. Preseason here, joined by my first guest of the day. Flew up this morning from Virginia, head coach of the VCU Rams, Will Wade. Will, how you doing?
Doing well, Chris. Great to be here. You know, between Mo and Hamdi, there's not many better centers in the league than those two guys. Flow a little bit more and focus more on concepts and spacing and getting guys in areas to make plays. I'm Will Wade, coach of the VCU Rams, and you're watching the A10 Network. There'll be a lot of black and gold. Pittsburgh likes black and gold, I guess.
That's right.
But I'm sure there'll be a lot of black and gold in the stands. I was commenting walking around. This is beautiful. Back and forth game, two really good teams. I felt, even though we lost, I felt good about our teams. But in this league, there's not, 7 or 8 really capable teams. I think what you see at the top of the league is teams that have a lot of veterans, a lot of seniors, a lot of juniors in the lineup for those teams at the top. And we certainly, we're going to have a chance. We're going to have our say in the deal, and we need to just prepare every day and understand that there's certainly teams ahead of us that we need to catch, and there's teams behind us that can catch us. And so we've got a lot of work. We've got a lot of work ahead of us over this next 3 weeks before we get going with our conference. Be like my dad. My dad is an extremely hard worker. I always looked up to him. Long time no see. Long time no see.
No, you're done in the morning, huh?
Hey fans, we're here for A10 Media Day. Pittsburgh's a great city. Everybody here loves black and gold. Can't wait to see a bunch of black and gold here in March.
Out there by Mike Voyak on following the Rams around all day in Pittsburgh. It's going to be fun to head out there to Pittsburgh for the A10 tournament. The Rams picked to finish third. I know fans get all revved up over preseason polls and all conference teams, but they probably got it right.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think you have Rhode Island. You've got a potential Player of the Year candidate returning back from an injury last year, and he's got things going up there. Coach Hurley has things going up there, so it'll be exciting to see how they do. And then, of course, perennial A10 team Powerhouse, Dayton, they're ready to go again this year. And again, I think you need to finish in the top 4. That's kind of what always my perspective is. If we get in the top 4, we're in good shape. You just don't want to have to play every day in the A10 tournament. But that should if you finish in the top 4, it should get you in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I think when you look at the preseason all conference teams, first team, second team, you look and have basically a clear vision at how much talent is in this league and how deep the talent is in this league.
It really is. This is a league that has really continued to grow, and you're talking about a league that's putting multiple bids in now, multiple years in a row. You've got some players that are starting to get drafted in the NBA each and every year. So an exciting time here in the A10.
I think everybody knows sort of the formula now. Your non-conference schedule and the victories that you get out of conference are so critical to a team's overall success and their path towards March. What do you think of the Rams' non-conference schedule? What jumps out at you?
Well, I tell you what, one of the things that Coach Wade talked about that he needed to continue to grow this program was what they call program upgrades. That doesn't always mean, more salary for the head coach or more, more bells and whistles at the basketball development facility. It also talks about having a budget to come in and develop a very strategic out-of-conference schedule, because that is what's getting teams into the NCAA tournament. And Coach Wade and his staff begged for this budget, and hats off to the administration here for finding the money to do it. And they came in and they've built a non-conference schedule that if we do what we're supposed to do, it will put us in the NCAA tournament. Starting out with 3 kind of warm-up games with UNC Asheville, Liberty, and then Binghamton before heading back down to Atlantis, which is a great tournament this year, and starting out against a team like Baylor. And then you go right out of Baylor and you got to play either Michigan State or St. John's. I mean, there's no free games in that conference. And so you start then, and then you've got your RPI that you need when you're coming into the conference in order to carry that momentum.
There's a couple of other Power 5 teams on the non-conference schedule. Illinois, they're going to play down in Miami, and also a date with Georgia Tech.
Yeah, those are 2 big RPI games. Illinois is a neutral site game down playing in Miami. Hopefully Breonte Weber will be back there by then. That would be exciting. But that's a big-time game. And then Georgia Tech playing the return game. We went back there last year, and they're coming here this year. But look, there's another team on this home schedule, Princeton. I mean, that's a very, very good Princeton team that'll be coming in here.
Top 100. It's going to be easily a top 100 game.
Easily a top 100 game, and probably, they might finish in the top 2 or 3 of their league as well. So, and then a date with Old Dominion at Old Dominion. So, I mean, it's a very difficult conference. And then you go into conference play, and, I don't know that we got any favors with our conference schedule.
Yeah, listen, sometimes you look at the way the schedule sort of unfolds, at least from an A10 perspective, and you try to sort of figure out the wins, the losses. Every season is unique to themselves. The bottom line is it looks like there's going to be a lot of top 50, top 60 RPI teams in the Atlantic 10.
Yeah, and look, we're going to have a chance to play ourselves into it at the end of the season. You're talking about finishing up, St. Louis, Rhode Island, Dayton. I mean, these are some difficult teams that have been powerhouses in the past. And again, the schedule sets us up, again, to make it to postseason. Now, it's too early to talk about postseason because you've got to deliver in the non-conference season to carry that momentum into the conference season. But the A10 will put multiple bids in. Hopefully VCU will be able to take care of business and be one of those.
Well, let's kind of wrap it up there as we kind of wind down our VCU men's basketball season preview. The Rams have made 6 consecutive trips to the NCAA tournament. Ronnie, what's the 1 or 2 key things they need to do to make it 7 in a row?
I think they need to have consistent guard play. We've got to replace some scoring in Melvin Johnson, but that's not going to be a problem. There are scores on this roster, but you've got to have consistent guard play to control the pace of the game. So we need Johnny Williams and Jaquan Lewis and some of the freshmen that are coming in to be able to carry that pace. The other thing is that they have to follow Coach Wade's game plan. We've got a team of bigs that can play. Hamdi can score inside. Mo Alley-Cox is a beast inside. Tillman can work that baseline like nobody I've ever seen here at VCU. If we follow the game plan and we execute, we will be successful and we will go to our 7th NCAA tournament.
Let's get the season started.
I'm ready.
Sounds good. For my buddy Rodney Ashby and our producer and cameraman and do everything man Mike Voyak, I'm Greg Burton. Thanks so much for watching our VCU men's basketball season preview. We'll see you at the Siegel Center.